The biggest story going on right now
What are you doing, Michigan? You just got off the hook.
was alleged to have done, and what indeed the NCAA determines. How much of a hammer is it really, I suppose, is the question. The answer is no, and I think for a lot of fans, that's the only thing they care about.
He didn't sit down with an interview with the NCAA. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
Michigan football sanctioned by the NCAA for the, well, you remember the Connor Stallions saga of what the Michigan team was alleged to have done and what indeed the NCAA determines they did in fact do. And the hammer has dropped today, although, well, how much of a hammer is it really, I suppose, is the question that a lot of folks are asking. The punishments that Michigan is going to receive are going to require them to vacate no wins, and they will not have a postseason ban. So right out of the way, they're eligible to go bowling. They can get in the college football playoff. They don't have to give back any wins, and they certainly don't have to give back their national championship that they won under Jim Harbaugh. So that's the thing, if you're a Michigan fan, that you're most worried about from the get-go. Is anything going to happen? Are they going to vacate our wins? Are they going to take our championship away from us? The answer is no, and I think for a lot of fans, that's the only thing they care about. Everything that happens after this is just secondary news to them because it doesn't affect anything for the bottom line for Michigan. Here are the punishments as they are: 4 years probation, heavy restrictions being placed on their recruiting, fewer visits, bans on communication. So they're going to have some obstacles put in their way in terms of their recruitment process, and they are going to go on probation. They've been hit with what's going to amount, it's being estimated, to about $20 million in fines, lost postseason revenue, scholarship reductions. Sharon Moore, the head coach, Michigan already internally decided they were going to suspend him for 2 games this season. The NCAA decided that a third is warranted, and he'll serve that third suspension game during the 2026 season. And as for Jim Harbaugh, who got the big prize for the Michigan Wolverines and then headed on to the greener pastures of the National Football League, he's got a show cause ban of 10 years that is going to be imposed when the one that he's already currently dealing with expires in 2028. He got a 4-year show cause ban in 2024. That expires in 2028. Now he's persona non grata until 2038 in college football. And I don't know how old that's going to make Jim Harbaugh by then, but he'll probably be sitting around somewhere with his grandchildren looking at the national championship trophy that Michigan won. If I sound like I'm a little bit salty about this, let's say, punishment that Michigan has received here, it's maybe partly because I got my graduate degree, I got my master's at the University of Louisville. And some of you might remember that in 2013, Rick Pitino led the Louisville Cardinals to the NCAA men's basketball championship. They beat Michigan in the championship game, by the way, ironically, I suppose. And that was taken away from the University of Louisville. The banner came down. The title was vacated because the coaching staff had arranged sex acts for recruits and players. They were getting hookers for the players as they were coming in trying to recruit them. Now, look, I'm not saying that's a good look, but it's practically wholesome with the spying and espionage that we're going to compare it to that Michigan did. We're going to say that what Michigan did wasn't worse than letting some horny guys fuck whores. Really? The difference is it comes down to the eligibility of the player. Michigan getting a slap on the wrist here, if that, because all of the players that played in the games during the championship season are, as far as the NCAA is concerned, they were eligible players. So the punishment's not being levied towards the players, the rationale being that it would be current players who weren't even with the team when this happened would be suffering by not being able to participate in postseason games. So therefore, it falls on Sharon Moore. It falls on Jim Harbaugh. I mean, as much as it can fall on Jim Harbaugh's gone. He's gone. It's like when it's like somebody commits a crime, they leave a country, and then the country's like, if you ever come back here, we've got a punishment for you. And so then they just stay wherever they are and they don't come back because it doesn't really fucking matter unless they want to go back there. So I don't think we're ever going to see Jim Harbaugh coach college football again. That's probably just fine with him. He left, as we're seeing the footage here, the way that anybody would want to in storybook fashion. USC football might have a complaint. How about the 2004 team? The Reggie Bush great team had to give back their championship because Reggie Bush was deemed ineligible for competition. Had his Heisman Trophy taken away. He got his Heisman Trophy back, by the way. That was given back to him, but the championship has not been restored to USC because he was ineligible to play, just as the Louisville players were ineligible to play because they were having too much sex with Rick Pitino's impressive roster of ladies of the evening. Rick Pitino, by the way, he's still out there at St. John's leading them to the NCAA tournament. We had Isaac the intern on this show out on the streets talking to Rick Pitino. He didn't get as much of a punishment as Jim Harbaugh got. But yet Louisville, that championship's gone. How many teams do you think in college basketball or college football, big time college basketball, big time college football, how many teams do you think didn't have at least one player on their roster when they won a championship that had some type of recruiting violation, where if we turned up every rock, if we looked under every nook and cranny, we would find that player should have been ineligible? Going all the way back to Sam Gilbert out at UCLA. Look into that sometime if you want to. Look, I have all the respect in the world for John Wooden. I had all the respect in the world for Bill Walton. I have all the respect in the world for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A lot of people that went through that great program in the 60s and 70s. But Sam Gilbert, look into how recruiting took place at UCLA and ask yourself if there was everything on the up and up every year with the UCLA dynasty. And John Wooden might be one of the finest human beings to ever coach a team. So
the big bad NCAA, that dickless organization, on the way out, corrupt, loses every lawsuit ever against them, NIL, can't control nothing. They just fined Michigan $20 million. Like, we give a fuck about $20 million. $20 million is ashtray money, bro, for us. That's like, what, 1/4 Bryce Underwood? We don't care about $20 million. Oh, Connor Stallions, U.S. Marine, by the way. He can't coach for 8 years for what? Being great at decoding signals and serving his country? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Ohio State, cry. Little brother, cry. All you other schools, cry. It's going to be student body left, student body right. We got a quarterback, the forward pass is back in our offense, and we're going to mash you, just like we've mashed Ohio State for the past 100 years. Haven't beat us since the days of COVID. Let them cry, let them whine, let them take that $20 million to a Michigan man. Ashtray money, bro. Ashtray money. We're going to see you Thanksgiving Day weekend. We're going to beat the piss out of you, and no $20 million is going to change that $20 million. Like, we give a fuck about $20 million. We own the Big Ten, and we're coming for you. See you on Big Noon Kickoff. I'm going to be there, Columbus. Mwah.
He knows goddamn well Michigan didn't beat Ohio State last year. Ryan Day and Chip Kelly beat Ohio State last year. So whatever, Dave.
That's I think he won that SmackDown. You know, I saw Eminem. If that had been a rap battle, Ron, you just got Clarenced.
Man.
Right there.
Ron, you need a hug? You need a hug? I feel butthurt after that.
Ron,
my God.
I feel like Ron just got
it's just
TKO.
It's just one of those things. Listen,
right there.
You know, Portnoy's basically Teflon now. He's so rich. He can't be canceled. He can say whatever he wants, but it literally means nothing. It's just like, I'm not coming on this show going, Ohio State's going to beat Michigan, or Ohio State's going to kick Penn State's ass. Man, I don't know. They got to play on November 1st in Columbus. We'll see what happens. So Portnoy can say whatever the fuck he wants. It means absolutely nothing. He's just a rich guy that is a fan of Michigan. That's it. Whatever, Dave.
First name basis with him.
Dave Portnoy. Dave might cry when he hears that.
No, he won't cry. He won't care. But he won't care. That's the thing. That's the thing. He just, I think
that was a wrestling promo. That was a wrestling promo. That
but the thing is he does this all the time. Nah, he does it all the time. He does it all the time. What Dave says or what you say or what I say means absolutely nothing. So Dave can spout off however he wants.
Wait a minute, Ron, I'm being told that he just took a bite of pizza from a Columbus, Ohio pizzeria.
And he didn't like it. He gave it a 6.1.
He rated it 3.2. Unbelievable. So, my God, Dave Portnoy just scorching the entire earth.
Good Lord.
Well, OutKick's senior national college sports reporter and a man who has been on top of this story for OutKick. Can't wait to get his perspective on this. Welcoming Trey Wallace to the program. Trey, I know you're reporting on it. I know that you've got opinions on this. You've been following this story for a long time now. What is your take on what the NCAA has opted to do here? And how would you feel about it if you were a Michigan fan? And how would you feel about it if you were a fan of one of the teams that Michigan beat that year?
Buddy, good afternoon. First off, been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a 2.5 years following this case. And just as I was coming on, we got a little bit of breaking news. Michigan has released a statement pertaining to the NCAA penalties that were handed down today. I'm not going to read the whole darn thing because it's pretty boring. But they say that respectfully, in a number of instances, the decision makes fundamental errors interpreting NCAA bylaws, blah, blah, blah. We will appeal this decision to ensure a fair result, and we will consider all other options. What are you doing, Michigan? You just got off the hook. You got a national championship. You had to go through a little bit of bad PR. Okay, everybody's going through it. You don't get a bowl ban. You don't get a scholarship reduction. You got to pay a fine that if you really called your boosters up, they could have that ready for you in about 10 minutes. But now they want to appeal it. Now they want to kick this down the road. And this is probably the stupidest outcome, because I just wrote an article on OutKick.com where if you presented the opportunity to every single college football fan in the country and you said, hey, your team is going to go through an investigation. You're going to be scattered all over the place on social media. Public relations is going to come after you. They're going to kill you in the press. But by the way, at the end of the road, you're going to win a national title. Your head coach is only going to be suspended for 3 games out of the NCAA punishment. And the school's got to come up with about $25 to $30 million at the end of the day. You take that in a heartbeat. Any team fan in the country would say, give me the national championship and I'll deal with the shit that comes with the NCAA penalties. Now, for some reason, I get why Michigan's doing it. I understand why they're appealing this. I get it because you got to go through the motions of all of it. But at the same time, just take your licking. Take the fact that you only got fined. Take the fact that Jim Harbaugh got a 10-year show cause, by the way, on top of the 4-year show cause he already had because of Burgergate and the recruiting scandal in 2021. Connor Stalions got an 8-year show cause. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I think, personally, with this whole thing, I think that the NCAA overreached here, but when they could not get Connor Stalions to talk, and then the best part about it is, the funny part to me is when Connor Stalions was recorded on a conversation saying that, if they want the files, they got to go find them because they're in about 1,000 pieces underneath a pond somewhere outside of Michigan. along with the files and the videos and everything else. Like, to be honest with you, Michigan got off good, man. Like, this is golden for them. Like, they got a national championship. And at the end of the day, I feel like everything that happened, I think that now that you look at it, you're like, if you're a Michigan fan, you're like, all right, cool. Now, if you're a Big Ten coach or an opponent or somebody else around college football, you're pretty pissed because you're like, that's it? They got a fine? That's all they have to deal with? Okay. All right. Like, we don't agree with it. But what are we going to do? But there's different forms of cheating all over college football. Before NIL, it was how much are you going to pay the players in a bag and drop it off in a dark hotel alley or something along those lines. The Connor Stallions thing was Signgate, stealing signs by sending in 56 different instances. He was sending people to different games, and he was caught on the Central Michigan sideline, by the way, during the Michigan State game with meta glasses on, recording with a fake mustache. Like, I find it all now, looking back on it, just laughable of where we're at, that this went so far. But Ricky, if you're a Michigan fan, man, you're happy today, buddy. Like, this is a wrap. It's over. I don't want to talk about this shit again. We won a national championship. Deal with it.
So is Michigan's response complaining about this? Is this just optics? Are they privately tickled to death, which they should be, but they just have to issue some statement that they're not happy with it because, you just aren't supposed to be happy with these things? Do they know how fucking lucky they are internally?
Right. Yeah. This is a lot of this is PR, brother. I mean, the first sentence out of the statement from Athletic Director Ward Manuel is, "It is never our intent to be in position where we are accused of any rules violations." Buddy, your boy got caught in a sign stealing investigation. He admitted to it on phone calls that they had recovered, probably because they had an informant that was on the line. Jim Harbaugh did not participate in this investigation whatsoever. He did not turn over documents, cell phone records, email records. He didn't sit down with an interview with the NCAA. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about what Michigan was doing during that time period, I don't know what to tell you. And now we're in a situation, and yes, I agree with you. To get back to it, because I could go on a rant about this for days, I think when they say the word appeal, they're going to make this thing look nice for the public. And now we didn't do this. What are you talking about? Like, we shouldn't have been hit this hard with penalties. In my opinion, you got off damn lucky. And then at the same time, I understand the fact that this is a procedural thing when it comes to rules, and you got to do it anyways. But I mean, I'm sitting here getting text messages from ADs and coaches right now, wondering why the hell are they putting out an appeal statement? Like, what are you doing? So, it is what it is. This is college athletics, man. But damn, just take your licking, walk away, and go get ready for the 2025 season.
Trey, look, I'm double pissed by this because, I got nothing against Michigan necessarily other than I'm on Ronnie T-shirt's side and I'm on the side of Mr. AstroTurf Jim Savoca as well. But otherwise, I don't have a dog in this hunt. I got nothing against Michigan. But I'm a Louisville graduate, man. And, brother, 2013, they took away our NCAA men's basketball championship because of the stuff that went down with the hookers and all of that. The players were therefore ineligible, and so it all got erased like it didn't happen. USC with Reggie Bush, ineligible. It all got erased like it didn't happen. Am I wrong for looking at this and concluding that what Michigan did is actually worse if we're looking at degrees of moral, ethical failing within a program? Because there was scheming and planning and this effort that was made to do all of this shit when in reality players have been getting illegally recruited since the dawn of fucking time and virtually everybody was doing it. Whereas this, to me, goes to a different level.
I don't disagree with you. I also will throw another one at you. The 2022 Oklahoma State men's basketball team was banned from playing in the postseason because of an investigation for something that was going on 2 years prior than when the current roster was actually participating. So that's another instance. But I will throw this at you. when the NCAA decided not to give Tennessee a postseason ban, I'm going to read you something. I'm going to read you a tweet that I put out earlier. I said, if Tennessee didn't get a postseason ban for paying players, running a hotel scheme, funneling cash to athletes through envelopes and Chick-fil-A bags, hiding an intern so he couldn't be interviewed, recruiting violations, and paying for travel, Michigan wasn't being touched. So I think what it did, it set up that the NCAA somehow they came to this. I don't know if the good Lord came down to them and spoke to them and said, why are you punishing players that are on teams that had nothing to do with stuff that happened in the past? Okay, that's fine. If you want to change your philosophy on it, I get it. Whatever. We are in a different era now of college athletics. But at the same time, you've got records at USC that have been erased because of stuff that happened. You've got instances at Louisville where they could still hang a banner if they wanted to, my brother, but at the same time, they're not recognized as champions. And then you look at this part where, and I found this funny. I was on the NCAA press conference today, and they were talking about competitive advantage. And they said Michigan did not have a competitive advantage after they fired Connor Stallions, and I think the date was October 23rd of that year. Well, it's like, wait a minute, brother. Like, what about the 6 previous games that Connor Stallions was involved in and helped the team win? And then you want to tell me that Michigan just all of a sudden stopped stealing signals because Connor Stallions was fired? Come on, man, we're not stupid. Like, we know how this thing goes. I promise you they were still running the same stuff without Connor Stallions on the sideline. Connor Stallions was sitting 5 rows below me at the Michigan National Championship game in Houston. So what I'm getting at is this thing is whole twofold here, and I think that the decision making, somebody just needs to be kind of just slapped on the head and be like, what are you guys doing? But I'll leave you with this, Ricky. It goes to show you that the NCAA has no more power. They don't have the cojones to lay down the hammer when it comes to something like this. I don't care if it was 2 years ago. Do something about it now. And also the fine thing, like I said earlier, man, they're paying a high school quarterback, $12 million over 3 years to play football. You think a $25 million fine is going to hurt them? No.
Dude, I mean, it's what everybody's attempting to do right now. Everybody's paying for play now. This is the world that we live in. And look, it's been said. A lot of people are saying it. You said it. $25 million to guarantee a natty? Man, people are going to be lining up and taking a number for that deal. Write the check,
they are.
Man. There are rich motherfuckers all across this country who are willing to write big checks to bring a national championship home to their school.
And the other thing too is if you know you're not going to be penalized harshly, and if you didn't have a coach involved, like I was talking about the Tennessee thing, and during that time, Jeremy Pruitt was actually speaking with investigators, and he spoke at the Committee on Infractions hearing, and he pled his case. Jim Harbaugh's been gone. And when I say gone, he hasn't been around the investigation. He hasn't been in front of the Committee on Infractions. He didn't plead his case. He washed his hands of it. And I promise you tomorrow after his game, somebody's going to ask him a question about this. And he'd be like, I'm focused on the Chargers here. I'm not worried about what's going on at Michigan. I still plead that I did nothing wrong. He'll feed you a bunch of bullshit. Nobody's going to believe it. But at the same time, it's like, how can you get mad at Michigan? And hear me out here. How can you get mad at Michigan when the NCAA doesn't have the cojones to actually do something about it? What precedent are you really setting? So, is what it is.
And why did Sharon Moore get off so fucking easy, Trey?
That was the
did he delete?
52.
He's got to set 3 games, and he's got this brief show cause window. And he's coaching Michigan anyway through it. So what he gets off is as easy as anybody.
It came back to with Sharon Moore. I was told by somebody about an hour ago, the fact that he did delete the text message and then he started to talk and tell the truth. I'm going to use air quotes, the truth, when it comes to what happened. The other thing was, if you remember, a couple months ago, Michigan came out and said, "Hey, look, we're self-imposing a suspension on Sharon Moore for the upcoming season. He was going to suspend him for 2 games, but guess what? He got to pick which 2 games he was suspended for, so he still gets to go play at Oklahoma, former school, but he doesn't have. But he's not like if you're going to punish him for something that will hurt." Like not going to play in Norman, Oklahoma.
Against a team that I could go in and walk the sideline and Michigan will win anyway. That's nothing.
Right. And then the other thing that was weird,
optics.
And then they suspended him for 1 game next season. It's like, well, why didn't you just suspend him for 3 games this season? And I still couldn't get a good answer on that on the NCAA call that we had today. So again, a lot of skirmishing, a lot of weird decisions through all of this. And at the end of the day, like I said earlier, man, if you're a Michigan fan, you're like, cool, man, like we're good. We got away with this. We're going to hold up a national championship. They're not taking it from us. We're not vacating any wins. And this is also funny. Michigan made over $20 million, and I got this from somebody at Michigan. Michigan made over $20 million in the 5 days following them winning a national championship in 2023. Think about that. They had over $20 million.
They're level.
So you think you think this fine hurts them? No,
they might have come out ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly. Good point.
Ronnie, I suppose that we can't put the period or the question mark or the exclamation point, whatever the case may be, on the end of any story about a salacious Michigan scandal that results in them not getting what I think a lot of us would consider to be proportionate justice for what they did. You, of course, one only needs to look at the background of your room there. You are an Ohio State Buckeye through and through. What's your take on your arch rival skipping by and getting what amounts to a slap on the wrist?
I have so many thoughts. I'm probably just going to ramble here for a little bit. They're not going to be super succinct, but we'll give it a shot, Ricky. First thing is, this is great news for the rest of college football because the NCAA just said, do whatever you want, cheat, steal, it doesn't matter. You're just going to get a fine. You're all rich. It doesn't matter. So the incentive now is to cut corners, cheat. They basically just said, let's go ahead and do it. So I've said this before. I'll say it again. When you go to sleep at night, Ricky, you know the truth. And so Michigan knows what they did. They know that they got their national championship by cheating. And if that makes them happy, then let them be happy. But I do find it quite humorous that a university that is so quick to tell you, we're Michigan men, we do things different, that they did all of this. Harbaugh, not just a coach at Michigan, a former player. So he is a Michigan man. And he ran away from this problem like a little bitch to the NFL. So ultimately, what happened. I would like to see them get their banner taken down because you mentioned that you had one taken down with Louisville. Ohio State had one taken down 1999. We played in the Final Four in St. Pete. And it was later found out that our head coach, Jim O'Brien, had given a loan to a Serbian player for $6,000. And so they vacated our Final Four appearance. So we don't have a Final Four banner in our arena anymore. I was there, so I know it happened. But I would like to see Michigan get their championship taken away. But ultimately, dude, it's kind of like, I don't know how I'm pulling this together, but it's kind of like when we talk about trans athletes, right? You won. You feel good about it? I don't know. If you do, it kind of makes you a psychopath.
Yeah.
So good job, Michigan. You got a national championship and you cheated to get it. Well done.
The Four Horsemen, my favorite professional wrestling faction, they certainly would have approved of it by any means necessary. Ronnie, I I don't fucking know, man. I just want Louisville to get theirs back. If this is where we're at, if you can cheat to this degree and they don't take the championship away, and I've never been a take the championship away guy, I'm just saying, let's be fair, give USC theirs back and give Louisville theirs back.
Hey,
give Ohio State their
yeah.
Final Four banner.
Yeah.
Anybody that's ever had their wins vacated,
Yep.
anybody who has ever had everything zeroed out after we saw it happen, we can just stop pretending that there's some sort of like pure chastity here that the NCAA is upholding and it's all good and moral and proper, because if you're going to allow Michigan State to do this, then I'm sorry, as a Louisville fan, I feel like the sibling who got grounded
Yep.
for, staying out an hour past curfew, and now the other sibling has gone out and stole a fucking car and been gone for 3 days and came back, and the parents aren't even going to ground them.
Yeah.
So fuck a bunch of that, Ron.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing.
The
one thing that I will say, and listen, I hate Michigan, right? I hate them with every fiber of my being. But that being said, I do not like the way the NCAA had handled punishments in the past, where student athletes would get punished for something they had absolutely nothing to do with. Because, the NCAA moves their feet so slow that sometimes it would be years until it would come down. And that's not fair. So as much as I hate Michigan, they did the right thing by not punishing this staff and these kids. But the one thing they can do, it's just sitting there right in front of them. See, I got right back there, Ricky, the flag that says we won the national championship. Well, Michigan should have their flag removed. That's it. It's a suit.
We're going to be sending, you're going to feel good about this. We're going to be sending Tim and Jared and some OutKick staff around to various homes around Michigan, and we will be repoing their national championship swag.
Hey, OutKick fans on YouTube, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and make your way over to OutKick.com where you can watch the full episode.